Any update on Will Taylor?
Yeah, he's had his wrist looked at a couple of times now, and there's a bunch of small bones in the wrist, and he fractured one of them, and he'll have a procedure next week, Tuesday, and he'll be out a few weeks, maybe, be back, late May, something like that. But he'll be out for probably a good 4 weeks while he's rehabbing that. But we just had that confirmed, and it's a big loss. Obviously, he's a dynamic player and an incredible athlete, but it's a different situation than Andrew Chufo, because Willie T will be able to be back and help us, especially as we kind of get into conference tournament, postseason, regional, stuff like that. Yep. There's a left-handed hitter who had hit it to the fence, the AB before, and so that left-handed hitter was up again with a runner on first, and I moved it back. So I wish I wouldn't have done that, but Willie T being Willie T, and going balls to the wall, goes and lays out and tries to make a Superman. He's made so many unbelievable catches in foul territory, but just the way he dove and rolled over his glove, just got that bone. But he stayed in there because he's tough as nails. But then it just started to stiffen up, and we knew something wasn't quite right the next day.
Coach, last week, losing 3 or 4, you kind of had a meeting with the team, and you talked about you wanted them to feel what it was like to have multiple losses, because that's what elimination feels like. After you had that conversation with your team, was there anybody else? Did the team have a meeting or anything and discuss the events of last week, or did they just take the message that you sent them and decided to ride with that going into this series this weekend with Pittsburgh?
I don't know if I told them that specifically. I always focus on kind of how we play. And then, I think I did mention that when we lost 2 in a row, because we had, up to that point in the season, we had done such a good job of bouncing back from adversity. We had not lost 2 in a row up until that point. So I think I did make a comment about that. But that wasn't anything really that I didn't belabor that point with them. When we get in here into the classroom setting, it's breaking down film of things that happened in the game. It's talking about the execution of the of the game. It's things we did well. It's things we need to improve upon. It's not as much big picture stuff as you would think. It's very narrow, singular focus of just how we play and how we compete.
And that was going to be my follow-up question, was there a hidden message in there at all with that? Because it doesn't seem like midway through the season that would be a big, huge topic of conversation.
Yeah, it wasn't a topic of conversation with them. And now's not the time of the year to really look that far ahead. It's just, we just need to play hard, we need to compete hard, and we need to execute. Our guys they do a good job. They're able to turn it around for the most part and make adjustments mid-game, and recognize when we need to raise our level of compete. And they did that today. And they've done that And even when we are competing hard and just take a punch because other teams, everyone's good, they've responded very well as well. So, there really wasn't a big picture type of thing last week. It was just, we could very clearly see that NC State's a very good ball club. They have some really good pitching and really good players, and they outplayed us the first 2 games, and that was it. And then we turned it around on Sunday with Erik pitching, and have gotten some really good bullpen performances these last few games.
What do you say from Mathis that you put him in that number 2 hole where Will was?
He's been in there before this year at times when Willie T was hitting the 6 hole. He's just a good hitter, and just there's really no rhyme or reason to it. Just kind of wanted him to. Sometimes you think about wanting a guy like Mathis coming up, as much as possible. Blake's kind of steady in that 3 hole, and like Jimmy more hitting in the middle of the order than because he was in the 2 hole as well. And sometimes you do it like, hey, Cam gets on, who do you want coming up next? And let's put Jimmy there. He gets on base a lot. And it's like, he's like him kind of 4-5 where he has a chance to hit a lot of RBIs. So, I mean, I like that our lineup isn't set and we're, have some moving pieces, and guys, especially with these injuries, are coming in and out, and we can move it around and still find ways to score. I think there'll be an adjustment period here for us as we figure this, the injured life out that we've got. We've got, a few adjustments to make, but maybe able to go, Becerra against a right-handed pitcher in left field, and a right-handed hitter like Crichton or Hall, and in left field when the left-hander pitches. Cooper Blauser can play first with Jimmy Overtop catches. So can Tristan McClatty. So it's one of those things where we'll probably have multiple lineups for a while.
Jaron, the